Hi guys. I'm gonna have a shorter video today, but I did see a couple of you guys when I was at esports, so it was very nice to see you. Um, the next thing I want us to be going over is how to solve inequalities. So there's gonna be a bunch of these on the test. First things first, to clarify to anyone who doesn't remember, what are inequalities? Inequalities are these things where it's like an arrow this way, or an arrow with a line under it, or the other way with a line under it. Inequalities are basically saying instead of this equaling this, it's saying the x is bigger than something, or x is smaller than something, and yada yada yada. So when we're solving inequalities, we'll take one from the test. Let's do this one. So it's negative 15x, 15x. Oh, someone's downstairs getting upset. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Sorry about that. So negative 15x plus 9 is less than or equal to negative 1, 1, 1. All right, so let's look at this problem real quick. First things first. What it is basically saying is, if this statement is true, what numbers can I put in for x that will stay smaller or equal to negative 11? So we're going to want to move things around like we normally do to figure that out. And luckily, 95% of the rules that we use for normal equations work for this as well. So let's use some of the properties we know. So it's going to be minus 9 will be negative 15x negative 120. Okay, so what did I just do? I used the idea, like we discussed yesterday, of doing the opposite, right? So if this is plus 9, we got to move it. We use minus 9. Then we do it to the other side. And so far, everything's the same. Nothing is different from when we have inequalities or from when we have equal signs so far. Now, the next part, we're going to have to move this negative 15. So if we look from before, it's negative 15 times the x, right? And so what's the opposite of times? It's going to be division. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 15. And the x will be on its own. And this is the only rule you guys need to remember about equalities that's different. This is it. If we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to flip the sign. So what do I mean? If you look right here, we multiplied, I'll pick a different color. We multiplied by the negative 15. Well, it's a negative number. We have multiplied by a negative number. So if we do that, we have to flip this. So now, instead of pointing that way, it's going to point this way. And then we can just do this like we normally do. So I'll pull out my handy dandy calculator. Negative 120 divided by negative 15. Whoop. 20 negative divided by 15 negative is 8. So we're going to get our answer here. Negative 120 divided by negative 15 gives us 8. So x is going to be bigger than or equal to 8. What this is saying is if we take any number that's bigger than or equal to 8 and put it into that x spot, it will always be a number smaller than negative 11. Let's try another one, just to make sure that you guys got it. Let's do this one. Oops. So it's going to be negative 20 greater than or equal to negative 10 plus x over negative 5. All right, so let's break this down the same way we were doing before. It's saying any number I put x here, right, that satisfies this, assuming it's true, is going to make this side smaller than or equal to negative 20. So, like most of you, I want to avoid the fractions at the beginning. I want to not deal with them. So let's just not touch the fraction for now, and we'll just do with the minus 10. If it's minus 10, what do we do to move it over? What's the opposite? It's going to be plus 10. Plus 10. Now, did we do any of our special rules? No, we did not. The special rule was if we multiply or divide by a negative number, we flip the sign. So let's keep going. So it's negative 10 bigger than or equal to x over negative 5. Okay, this is something I want to stress that I've seen most of you guys having a little bit of trouble with. Okay? I'm going to show you based on the drawing here. So just look for 1 second. So the sign for division is like this. A dot over a dot, right? And if you look at this, it kind of looks like a fraction. It's a dot, fraction, dot. And that's exactly what a fraction is. A fraction is just division. So 3 over, I don't know, 1 would be 3 divided by 1. Or I could do, let's say 6 over 2 would be 6 divided by 2. Fractions are just another way of writing division. So 6 over 2 would be 3 because it's 6 divided by 2. And then you get weird things sometimes where you get, let me get you right here, where it's like 7 over 2. Well, 7 divided by 2 would be 3.5. But it's still a fraction. All of this is a fraction. The point I'm trying to make is a fraction is just a division, is a division happening. So in this case, down here, it's x divided by, with the line, negative 5. So if it's x divided by negative 5, and we're trying to get the x by itself, how do we move that negative 5? What's the opposite of dividing by negative 5? We multiply by negative 5. Both sides. So these would cancel out, and we'd be left with positive 50. And what was the special rule? The special rule was if we multiply or divide by a negative number, we've got to flip the sign. And then we just have x. So now this is saying anything that is equal to 50 or smaller will make this equation true. It doesn't matter what number you pick. If it's 50 or less, it works. All right, so here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to work on a specific IXL for me. So give me 1 second. We're going to pull it up. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. So I want you guys to practice F10, and I'm going to reset it. Okay? I'm going to reset it for everybody, and I want you guys to redo F10. It's going to be very good practice for you. Okay? No, I'm not grading it. No, I'm not doing any of that stuff. This is just what I want you to do for today for practice. Okay? If you can get to 50 without having to guess, consider that you're doing a good job. If you're having to guess or you don't understand and you can't make it to 50, maybe ask some other students for help, maybe ask the sub for help. You get the idea. Okay? But this is what I would like you to be doing for today. Thank you. I will see you guys on Monday.